Malcolm X, about Martin Luther King every other year or every other decade. Go ahead. Who's this? Officer Garcia, Salon Lord Christ, I'm push it down.
If I may, sir.
Go ahead.
You know, what you're bringing out, if I'm catching that tail end of it, you know, talking about that form of brotherhood, you talk about in Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's heavy that you bring that out because I know when I was in the world, didn't know anything, and I told myself trying to start a ministry so that I could go and help people. Of course, I'm out there helping everyone, feeding them and giving them drink. But it was nothing to say I was going to do it and have, and this is crazy, I'd have 20 or 30 Edomites immediately calling or showing up. It was as though they were waiting for me to call, or waiting for me to say, let's work. So they did have a form of, they had a form of something, of course. We know that it was under false pretenses. But in Christianity, yeah, a lot of them will go out there to work to do a good deed. But they definitely go out there. There's no doubt. When you call on a Christian behalf, oh, they ready to move. But it means nothing.
Right, yeah, it's coming to nothing. It's coming to naught. You know what I mean? That's what we're gonna bring out, like the truth of the Bible. That, you know what I mean? That's why we're showing our people to not waste their time, because you know we all seen it. A lot of us wasn't born. Most of us wasn't born in the truth. So who's this?
Y'all right down the car. I'll see how you die if I might.
Go ahead.
What you bringing out so heavy, and the piggyback all with y'all is that, you know, when you look at Christianity, you know what I'm saying, it's the drug of choice for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And when you're on drugs, you know what I'm saying, you don't most people don't realize that what they're doing is wrong, you know what I'm saying? And until they have that moment of clarity within themselves to say, when I'm doing it wrong, they'll never seek to help out. And that's what's going on in Christianity. They don't realize in the black church or the Muslim mosque or whatever they don't realize that what they're doing is wrong. It feels so good to them, just like that heroin addict getting that fix, that crackhead hitting that rock, you know what I'm saying? It's a fix to them, a quick fix to whatever problem they got going on, you know what I'm saying? But it'll never solve any problems unless they come into this I.S.U.P.K spot.
Right, and that's why, you know, if Christianity is a drug. That's why your pastor can come through. He could be a flaming homosexual. He can molest a few boys and girls and babies in there, and they get him out of the church, and you still stay in the same church. Or he say he forgive him. He say he got 5 stones and he ain't do one yet, and that all he got to do is sensualize you with his words, or sometimes her words, whatever he did. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna talk about a so-called man of God. These people, they're so indoctrinated. It's so indoctrinated that, you know what I mean, they're willing to dedicate their lives to, you know what I mean, to a false pretense, you know what I mean, not of knowledge. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of times they come against us, because, you know, they done dedicated their lives and their family and the time to this. And, you know what I mean, that's what their grandmamas and everybody, their ancestors did to a certain point now, to slavery, on up. So it gotta be right, you know what I mean? You could, like I always say, you can show them 1 + 1 = 2, and they're gonna tell you that it's definitely not 3. That it's definitely 1 + 1 definitely = 3. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go back. We're gonna go into a little bit. We're gonna go back through Christianity and also Islam. You know what happens a lot of times when our people find out the lies of the Christianity, find out the lies of the Christian church. They leave the Christian church. You know, of course, the Most High may not be dealing with them at that time, but they leave the Christian church. They don't come into the truth. What's the next thing they usually go into, thinking that they found something so deep? Anybody can answer that? What religion they go into and think they found something so deep? What's that?
Islam.
You already know. It's real easy. That's Islam. I mean, how many brothers you knew that grew up in Christianity and they go into Islam and they take a little convincing with their girl, but way more easier convincing with their girl, got them wrapped up in the jihad and Habib and all that. You know what I mean? They coming through talking about the lies of Christianity. But you know, they jump right into the Quran. You know what I mean? They jump right into the Quran, man. You know what I mean? Them folks ready to dedicate their lives, and they you know, they got rappers. I seen Lil Durk and his homeboy. They praying Moneybag Yo is celebrating Ramadan, and his girl Ari. You know, y'all know Moneybag Yo, right? And his girl Ari that be you know, getting passed around the industry. They're celebrating Ramadan right now. You know what I mean? And a lot of times you can't really tell them people nothing. Them folks, you know, they left and they came from the South themselves, and Christianity, and they was able to leave the church and go right, because our people Israel do not know. They'll go to one heathen to another heathen. You know what I mean? They're not never ever connecting that there's an Arab. This is an Arab religion, because our people. Because the number one thing a lot of people don't know, that it matters. Your religion, your belief system has everything to do with your nationality. You know what I mean? That simple fact right there, our people will leave Christianity and they won't go to a heathen religion, but because they think they can just go to any doggone heathen religion, the next thing is so different from what they grew up on. And when they say the prayers, they hum in a little, and then they pray towards the east. They thinking it's so holy, but they praying towards the east, toward Mecca. You're supposed to be praying toward the east, toward Jerusalem. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get a little to the brotherhood and dedication. Let's focus on the FOI, NOI, a Nation of Islam. You know what I mean? That was a big movement. You know what I mean? A lot of brothers have seen that with what Malcolm X brought through, Elijah Muhammad brought through, Farrakhan, Khalid Muhammad. We've seen what they brought through, army. Sometimes they be looking strong. They on TV. They make movies about this type of stuff, documentaries about this type of stuff. So, you know, a black man is sitting there and wondering, you know, he wants to fight for his people. What did he get into? You know what I mean? The next thing he'll get into is a Nation of Islam. Only reason they're not jumping into that now, a lot of them, you know, because of Malcolm X, in the movie, Malcolm X got more to Orthodox Islam. You know, that's a famous thing, then Orthodox Islam. So a lot of them are not into NOI, right, like they are these days. They're in the more the Orthodox, you know, they going right straight to the heathen. You know what I mean? You know, they were destroyed before, they even more destroyed now. No, but Malcolm X, you know, he was a dedicated brother, you know what I mean? And he had a zeal, just like any brother that we see, you know, that's not in the truth or whatnot. They got a zeal for the Lord. You know what I mean? They can say some things that are true. You know what I mean? They have the qualities to lead, and that they're prophets, but they're false prophets. You know what I mean? Man, how much love we got from Malcolm X or whatnot. You know what I mean? He was something else. You know what I mean? He had a way with words, a way charisma, the gift of gab, or whatnot. But you know, he was another false prophet, man. He didn't come up under the truth. He didn't come up with the law, statute, commandments. You know what I mean? He didn't prove all things. You know what I mean? And Khalid Muhammad. A lot of people know about Khalid Muhammad. He was like the 2000 version of Malcolm X. You know what I mean? These guys, you know, spoke great things. You know what I mean? They were real natural born leaders. You know what I mean? They had dedication. When Malcolm X was killed, they cut him open. He never, for a certain time, he never smoked or drank, ate clean. They said his organs was all the way, you know, the cleanest they ever seen before. You know what I mean? This man really dedicated his life to an organization. But you know, and we got him on T-shirts, we got him on bumper stickers also. We got him in all the movies. But what we see is that fail. You know what I mean? We look at a lot of these characters because they're some of the put up heroes. But as we tend to notice that they all fail, and nothing really lives afterwards. Even they name, you know, they got Malcolm X University. They got Malcolm X Boulevard. He got his daughters and their family still living. What is the fruit of that? What is the fruit that come to? You know what I mean? They had a Malcolm X. They had one of his daughters had a son. Malcolm X. They named him Malcolm X also. Malcolm also. He ended up killing Betty Shabazz, which is his grandmother. He ended up killing her in a house fire, and they found him dead about 2 years ago in a lake somewhere. You know what I mean? Well, one of his daughters ended up doing time, almost called, you know, a big federal thing. She had tried to have Louis Farrakhan killed because, you know, of course, Louis Farrakhan had, you know, the Nation of Islam turned on Malcolm X. Nation of Islam turned on Caliph Muhammad. And as we know, that according to the law, you know, that would not be carried out like that. You know what I mean? You don't come, you don't do your brother like that. Go ahead.
So, like what you just said is so heavy, and you know, Malcolm X was not a brother to what is his name, Louis Farrakhan,
Elijah Muhammad.
or Elijah Muhammad, because they are heathens. You know what I'm saying? They're white boys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The thing with Louis Farrakhan is that he came out, you know what I'm saying, and behind a veil of a speech, he basically said, you know what I'm saying, the Nation of Islam had him killed by saying that how a nation deal with a traitor is that nation citizens, you know what I'm saying, paraphrasing what he said. So, you know, there is no love in these other organizations, these other groups. If you're not in the UPK, you know what I'm saying, there ain't no brotherhood amongst you, you know what I'm saying?
Right, definitely. You said it. You said it the best, and that's what we was bringing up before. That if our people just simply knew that your belief system is based on your nationality, it's something that simple. That like it could have saved me a lot growing up. You know what I mean? That you're not gonna have a white. You know, if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Americans, you shouldn't be celebrating a white race worshiping a white Mary. You shouldn't be worshiping Mary no way. You shouldn't be worshiping a white Jesus. And that, so what the officer said is that kind of find out is that, you know, Farad Muhammad, the man who went to Elijah Muhammad, who started the Nation of Islam, Farad Muhammad, that, you know, his daddy was a white man. We would already knew, he would already knew, and we already knew not to touch that. You know what I mean? That was a heathen come through that. Louis Farrakhan, you know what I mean? They saying his daddy white. It doesn't, you know, whatever. Go ahead.
What you bringing out so heavy is that, and they show you that the Brotherhood and the UPK is the only brotherhood that Black expansion of Black Americans have. You know, earlier you were talking about the Orthodox, Arabs and Muslim Wahhabis, you know, they only deal with themselves. You know, like Chris said, in the end time, nations are gonna go back to their own kind. You know what I'm saying? They always been like that with the Arabs. They ain't never let nobody in. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to the oppressor, the Caucasian oppressor we got, they let him in because of the bloodline have been mixed. You know what I'm saying? Ishmael and Esau mixed. They mingle seed anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason they in. But when it comes to Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, by the world knowing who we are, they don't want to include us with anything that they got going on because they know that the Most High is with us and not with them when we're in our righteous state. And so even have themselves do anything with us is like setting themselves up to be destroyed because everybody knows the prophecies except for the Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans.
Right, exactly. Everybody knows the prophet. They're not gonna let you. They're not gonna let you get in at the top of Islam. You know what I mean? Louis Farrakhan had to fight many years just to get the Nation of Islam. Had to fight many years just to get even a little respect in the Muslim world. They wouldn't even look at them brothers. You know what I mean? They wouldn't even recognize them according to that. But you know those boys. You know, they have a dedication. They try to form a brotherhood. They had something that a black man would look at, sometimes on TV and the newspapers, and say, hey, I want to join in and give their brotherhood and join it and find out it's pure evil. You know what I mean? So, you know, you go from one heathen to the other. Shalom. Shalom, Lord Christ. I'm going to put you on there. Push you down. All right, so, and then that's right on the money, Officer Yahanna. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Just to piggyback off this point, you know what I'm saying? Because we talking about being brothers, you know what I'm saying, one to the other, and the other religions and other things can't do that for us. When you look at Christianity, and this is the thing that kills me with my people, Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, they what kills me with. They know that we were conquered and defeated by, you know what I'm saying, by the oppressor. They know these things. They know that Christianity was feed into us by the oppressor. But yet still, they argue us down in the street saying that we don't know what we're talking about when it comes to this Bible or the oppressor. You know what I'm saying? In the Bible clearly states in Obadiah that the oppressor is the one that's going to pay the price. In Isaiah, he said the oppressor is the one that's going to pay the price. You know what I'm saying? All throughout the Bible, Esau was going to pay the price. So when Christians, you know what I'm saying, love to stick behind that flag of Christianity, that false flag of Christianity, that terrorist sale called Christianity, when they stick behind it, they're
Right, it is. It's no divorce. I mean, the heathens. I mean, they have a hold on our people. You know what I mean? Israel is a homeborn slave. It's like if we don't have a slave master telling us what to do. I mean, you know what? That's what 400 years. You ever did 400 years worth of something? You know what I mean? 400 years, 1,000 years worth of something. When you got that beat into you 400 years, it's like if the white man don't say it or another heathen don't say it, they already got their own nation backing them. That's what we're really saying. If you don't got your own nation backing you, and you don't got if you're not great in power and a slave master, then we're not listening to you. Israel don't want to listen to you for the most part. And
Shalom.
Go ahead.
Shalom,
Oh, it's Officer Baton. Shalom, Lord Christ. I put it down. Right, and that's what we I got a quote from Malcolm X. You know what I mean? It's a Brotherhood class Tuesday night, I.S.U.P.K. Atlanta. As we know, he had a dedication, but I got a quote from Malcolm X on Brotherhood. And the quote is, because I'm going to elaborate a little bit after this quote. Malcolm X on Brotherhood, he said, I believe in the brotherhood of all men, but I don't believe in wasting brotherhood on anyone who doesn't want to practice it with me. Brotherhood is a two-way street. You know what I mean? That is true, but the thing I wanted to bring out about that is what really happens is that when you become, when you go into Islam, a lot of times that you look more, you can look at anybody that's in the mosque or praying with you in the same religion as you is more of your brother than your actual nationality brother. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's what Captain Zaryat get them with all the time. If a Caucasian man or a white man becomes a Muslim and want to pray to the East, he's more of a brother than somebody that's your nationality brother. Or Arab, same thing. They look more of, if you don't practice that religion with them, then, you know what I mean, you're not truly their brother. You know what I mean? They'll do you in. You know what I mean? We got Rollo, you know, Rollo, one of the rappers that was here in Atlanta. You know what I mean? He made a lot of noise on the streets and, you know, trying to get to that BMF level. As far as, you know, we love the drug dealers. Israel love the drug dealers. Whatever. So he tried to get to that big level. But, you know what I'm saying? But he also practiced Islam. You know what I mean? Show how he had all the ox playing, all the brothers praying or whatever. You know, and trying to make it look like a holy thing. But of course that failed in the end. But, you know, I remember him saying a lot of times that, you know, he'll have more mercy if it comes to a shooting or something or something. He'll have more mercy. Or they'll look they'll have more mercy on somebody that's practicing the faith with them. You know what I mean? You know, we are brothers here in the I.S.U.P.K. We got true brotherhood or whatnot, but we in no way do we look at it like, you know, only us. We only practice brotherhood. We practice brotherhood with other brothers. You know what I mean? We run across your rib and you're not in the truth, and your rib pushing up or whatnot, and we found out that she's dealing with a man. We're not dealing with her. We're not touching her. You know what I mean? Islam, you thinking they thinking too. They're not thinking anything about that. You know what I mean? As long as we're not practicing together, oh, he not a Muslim. You know what I mean? The game is open season. When they say open season for you. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing, you know, so Malcolm X was killed, Khalid Muhammad was killed. Those are things that those two men dedicated their lives to those movements to find out only that, you know, it's in falsehood. And they left it, and you know what I'm saying, they were executed. You know what I mean, for leaving. You know what I mean? It came to nothing. You know what I mean? We could watch a movie and see little parts and get sensationalized off of Malcolm X, and then watch on YouTube with Khalid Muhammad. He did a lot of things that raised a lot of eyebrows, and he fought hard against the white man, but not hard enough, not according to knowledge. Just like Romans 10 and 3, and 2 and 3, we were saying it's not according. He got a zeal, but not according to the knowledge. It ain't like the Most High didn't try to show him. You know what I mean? With the priests and prophets of the I.S.U.P.K. try to show him, but you know what I'm saying? They really more so on what's the popular thing. You know what I mean? They make them move. They make them, half the world is Christian and the other half is Islam. So if it ain't coming through that wood and stone, A lot of times, you know, ain't no need for me to put my talents there because, you know, it's not gonna get noticed. That's probably what they thinking. You know what I mean? But you know, the truth is the truth. Amen. And so you know, with Farrakhan, he came out and said that the true children of Israel or so-called blacks. He just said the black people, whatever. So so you mean to tell me that you call yourself a Muslim, Nation of Islam, you carry the Quran, have most of the time Farrakhan and them, the Nation of Islam, they reading out the Bible. What, you know what I mean? Our people do not know. They thinking they can just mix two books and it be two truths. It's not like that. You know what I mean? The Most High, if they already knew the truth, the laws, the statute, commandments, they'll know that we don't mix any books. That the Most High never mentioned anything about any of the prophets of the Quran, nothing about the Muhammad and anything. They all believe the lie. Pick me up at before I go into anything. Pick me up at Isaiah 54 and 15. And they all gather together. They, you know what I'm saying? You know, we seen some of their assemblies. Sometimes they be in all white. You know what I mean? They look beautiful and glorious. But all those things fail. We found out years later, you know what I mean? Farrakhan, I mean, you know, Elijah Muhammad, they thought Elijah Muhammad was actually going to be like Jesus, like he'd never die. They really thought this man would never die. That man died in 1975. You know what I mean? And a lot of people left that movement after that, but they still stayed. You got Farrakhan movement. You know what I mean? Farrakhan can't do nothing with it because it's not the truth. He got to start telling people, black people, that they're part of they really the Israelites, but still stay in the Nation of Islam. And then he started going into Scientology. He started going to Scientology later on. Well, what I'm saying is that at the height of their movement, they looking more powerful than anything. You know what I mean? Before I came into the truth, I was looking at Farrakhan and Malcolm X and all type of, even trying to find some Elijah Muhammad videos or whatnot. Never wanted to join them. They didn't have a spirit on me like that because I already knew that Bible was just somebody, that Bible, it got to be the truth. You know what I mean? So thank God I ain't going to that. But I admired those guys and thought like, hey man, nobody's speaking like those guys. Nobody's speaking like Khalid Muhammad. But that's before I met the prophets, the I.S.U.P.K. And you know what I mean? And how this thing began, everything on video that I seen, man, I had to repent for saying I ain't never seen no men talk like that. Man, you know what I mean? Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Khalid Muhammad, Nuri Muhammad, they can't hold a candle to an officer of 50 or to a trooper in the I.S.U.P.K.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
All them guys you just named out, you know what I'm saying? If I say, they all are soothsayers, you know what I'm saying? They tell you what you want to hear. They say stuff to make you feel good. They like a pep rally cheerleader, you know what I'm saying? They try to get the crowd hype, you know what I'm saying? And I remember back in the day when they did that first 10 million, that first Million Man Walk, you know what I'm saying? They're like, we're going to do this in the third in the community. 2 years later, it was still the same thing. The bullets still up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? You know, every debauchery going on, ain't nobody did that. You know, but I'm supposed to follow that. I can't follow that. I can't follow the Arab that enslaved my people. I can't follow the oppressor that enslaved my people. We can't keep doing it because it's getting us nowhere. It's a lot.
Right, and you know what I'm saying? You should know them by their fruit. And as we know, the Muslims, they made the best trap niggas. I mean, they selling all the dope. You know what I'm saying? And we just brought out Rollo them. You know what I'm saying? Rollo all them. You know what I mean? It's like it goes hand in hand with being in Islam. You really can do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You can marry a whole you can marry a whole hoe out here on TV and everything, as long as you come up on that conical. Go ahead. Who is this? Go ahead.
So what you bring it out so heavy, and it's a heavy topic, you know what I'm saying? Especially because Yahanna had mentioned Chicago last night, you know what I'm saying, on Black White, you know what I'm talking about, and the Nation of Islam, you know what I'm saying, they based out of Chicago. And last time I checked, these number niggas killing niggas up there, and the Nation of Islam ain't stop none of that. But they can go around, Farrakhan, he can go around in the hip hop world and stop a rap beat. But you can't stop the brothers on the corner in your neighborhood from beating about a block they don't even own, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot.
Right, that's exactly. In Chicago, you know what I mean? That's the headquarters. You know what I mean? And you know, if Farrakhan is very quiet, the only thing popped up is when he had to say something about the coronavirus. You know what I mean? You know, we with I.S.U.P.K, we stay on top of everything. It came up about the coronavirus, but you know, about the killing, the mass murder in Chicago, they can't do nothing with it. President Obama, he was based out of Chicago. He couldn't do anything with it. You know what I mean? They had what they do. They put their veils and garments and to make it look beautiful in front of your eyes. But as we see the fruit of all that, it's nothing. It comes to nothing. It ain't doing nothing. It's the work. Matter of fact, where your headquarters at is what you were supposed to be in charge of. You're supposed to have all the discipline, all these men discipline. It's coming to nothing. It's the matter of fact, it's the worst ever. It's the worst it's ever been. You know what I mean? And that's what Most High showing us. It's a slap in his face. So like I mean, you know, he know the beginning for the end, but you know what I mean. He's not gonna stand for us going into anything else. Don't matter how righteous they think they are. You know what I mean? Go ahead and pick me up at Isaiah 54:15.
Come. The book of Isaiah chapter 50.
So like, who is this? Okay, but go ahead, True.
Isaiah 54:15. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me.
They said what now?
Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me.
Yeah, they gather together. They gather together. You know what I mean? Israel, they be coming together, but it won't be according to the Most High. As we go through these groups. Keep on going.
Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake.
They shall what?
Fall for thy sake.
Yeah, that's what we really that scripture right there is what we basically the premises the whole class on. You know what I mean? Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall by thy sake. And some of the Christians and the other religious groups, they say, well, we're not against God. We're not against God in the Bible. You know what I mean? We're in the Abrahamic faith. We're in the Abrahamic faith. We all brothers in this together, man. If you're not coming through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and attesting to the whole law and no other book, you are against the Most High. You know, you are against the Most High, period. Keep on going. 16.
Verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals and the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy.
Right, so I mean, we all know the Most High is a man of war. You know what I mean? He's against you. He's against your face. No matter your ignorancy of the law doesn't matter. He's sick of it. You know what I mean? That's the way we're talking about, your ignorancy of the law, from state to state. You can carry a gun in Georgia as long as you're a felon or whatnot, or of age. Anybody can carry a gun, but you mess around carrying that gun to the wrong state. They don't care if you get caught with it, and it's illegal in that state. If anybody have a gun without a proper gun license, you will be locked up and have to do every day of that. It doesn't matter your ignorancy of the law. Keep on going to verse 17. This is what the Christians like to use a lot. This verse right here, but we bring it to fruition. You know what I mean? They gathering together, but not of Him. Go ahead.
Verse 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn.
Right, hold on, Slugger. That's in judgment. That's in judgment right there. You know what I mean? That's until the end. You know what I mean? These things have to play out. You know what I mean? First of all, if it's not on the Most High, it's gonna fall. Who is this?
I was looking at Sean.
Go ahead.
If I may, I just want to kind of piggyback off what you were saying, especially about the gun laws and stuff like that. Our people, our people in the world so fixated on our oppressor and stuff like that. Our oppressor would tell you, yeah, you can open carry if you're not a felon down in the state of Georgia. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like you say, you cross other state borders and whatnot. You can get charged.
Yeah, definitely, because and the example I want to bring out that is about the ignorancy of the law. You know what I mean? Just like the judges and police and the law, they won't. You know what I mean? They don't care about your ignorancy of the law. You know, when have you ever went like, hey, I didn't know about that? They still gonna charge you. You still have a fine. You still gonna have to pay. Same thing with the Most High. You know what I mean? Whether you like know the law, know you're Israelite. You know this about the law or not, you break it and you do it, you know what I mean, you could definitely pay for it. And we've been paying for it over and over and over again. You know what I mean? We've been paying, we been getting spanked all over this city, all over the US, all over the world. You got some more on that?
This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, said the Lord.
Okay. You know, we just wanted to bring that out. That's what, you know, a lot of times, you know, basically what the Most High saying, they gathered but not of Him. You know what I mean? We got another one. We still on Islam, because this Islam thing is a hairy spirit. You know, we got Colin Kirkpatrick. We can bring him out every week in a different aspect. You know what I mean? The brother stood up. He definitely stood up for something. He definitely stood up for something and put his job on the line, put his finances on the line, and lost it. And probably would never play in the NFL as a quarterback again, just because he wanted to stand up for his brethren. We definitely salute him for that. Give him a hand clap for that, for sure. For sure. But the brother, it's another brother. You know what I'm saying? He got that within him and within his heart. It ain't like Farrakhan guided him through the process. It ain't like a Sunni Muslim guided him through the process. You think his Iman said, hey, I think you should be doing that for your brothers. Now that's within that brother personally, individually. You know what I'm saying? Because he's an Israelite. But he chose Islam. He chose a stone. You know what I mean? He chose Islam, and that's what the brother's pushing. You know what I mean? And the thing is that when you go to a brother like that, he's not ready. Why are you choosing Islam? You know what I mean? Our people do not know. So that's another thing that's gonna fall. That's another thing that's gonna come to nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's gonna be a paragraph in Black history. Yeah, it's commendable, but you lost your job. You never was able to get the monetary that you ever got. And if you ever did, it's still not the same. They're pushing him to the background. Colin Kaepernick, his name is fading away year by year. You know what I mean? Yeah, he showed brothers that he willing to do that himself, but his backing, he took it to a heathen. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? How can the Most High? The Most High with that spirit, with that zeal, but the brother, he ain't tapping into nothing. He ain't talking about nothing. You know what I mean? I already know the Israelites. I already know we had them in some type of way. You know what I mean? I know he exposed to some type of truth. But you know what I'm saying? You see, he's still choosing the heathen. He's still choosing Ishmael and thinking that's something. You know what I mean? And his girl. He got his girl into it and everything. And they all, you know, on the Ramadan and everything. Man, the Most High is against you too. The Most High ain't with that. You know what I mean? You just about to fade away to the background and become part of the where that ESPN got that show 30 for 30. Y'all know that show? Where they talk about people that has-beens and people that coulda, woulda, shouldas and all that. You just gonna be on ESPN 30 for 30, brother. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You put on that Islam garment, Islam kufi, you going nowhere fast, brother. You know what I mean? And a lot of these activists too. We got activists that's dedicate their lives to things. You know what I mean? We got the new Black Panther Party. You got a lot of y'all heard of Mega Eggers. You know what I mean? Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, they're not the only people in history. They got thousands of brothers who dedicate their lives to some type of zeal, helping their people out over the time. And you know, it comes to nothing. You know what I mean? They get slaughtered. The spirit goes into the next. I mean, you know, it may be another activist born, but it goes to nothing because they're not coming to the Most High in the truth. 1969, the truth is out in full fruition. You know what I mean? Marcus Garvey. You know, Marcus Garvey, that's a whole other movement before Malcolm X, before Martin Luther King, before Elijah Muhammad and all them. Marcus Garvey, he started it too, but you know, this class about brotherhood. Marcus Garvey started his organization is called the African Blood Brotherhood for African Liberation and Redemption. It's called the ABB. It was a U.S. Black Liberation Organization established in 1919. And also the Black Panther Party is a black liberation groups. See, we're not gonna win. We're not gonna win coming up under the conquers of black liberation. You know what I mean? Before I knew the truth, you know what I mean? I was on all that. You hear that everywhere. You're blowing like the wind. You know what I mean? Going to this talk show, listening to this talk show, this radio station, trying to piece it all together. And then you get them stinking Africans involved and everything. Africans ain't even studying this. You study about your people, and then you gotta learn about a whole nother type of what the Africans doing, what they got going on, man. It's a never ending game, man. Most High ain't set it up like that. You know what I mean? Marcus Garvey set up the African Blood Brotherhood. You know what I mean? Ham is a progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. You know what I mean? Not the Negroes at all. So that means the so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Americans, man, we not a part of that. You know what I mean? We spent some time in Africa, but we were slaves in Africa. We were second-class citizens in Africa. We're not indigenous to their land. You know what I mean? We come from Israel. And that's the truth. You know what I mean? That's what makes our job. That's why you have to get a part of this school. You know what I mean? To find out, to not waste your time in that type of brotherhood. Don't dedicate yourself, because they'll have you dedicate. They'll have you working. They'll have you working, man. You know what I mean? They'll have you sending your money in and everything, and it all comes to nothing. The stubble. You know what I mean? You don't want that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just be talked about, and the organization doesn't go on. You know what I mean? Abba Bivens started this school. You know what I mean? He was killed like as a martyr on the streets by Islam. But today, this 2021, that was happening in the 70s. It's 2021. So like it's 2022, and it's still, and we still rocking on, strong as ever, around the world. We just had the Lord's Passover, 53rd Passover since 1969, and we getting stronger and stronger than ever. Right. To shine on these brothers and sisters, and we coming with the truth of the Bible. We holding the Bible, the truth and the knowledge. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah, we feel the brothers who's mad at Christianity, mad at the white Jesus and all them lies. But you know, they go just go to another heathen. You know what I mean? It don't make no sense. That book even say that the Israelites are the true chosen people of God. So why would you even follow that? You know what I mean? A lot of that stuff don't make no sense at all, man. A lot of that stuff don't make any sense at all. Pick me up at a 2 Timothy 4 through 2 Timothy 4 and 5. You know what I mean? Because we rest. You got that trooper? Well, what's up? You got pick me up at 2 Timothy 4 in verse 4 through 5. Yeah, we rest on those facts that we know what the Bible's saying. So we know that our people will turn away from hearing the truth. We know that our people are stiff-necked people. You know what I mean? We know that the Most High chose us, and we didn't choose Him. You know what I mean? We know that Christ is black. He's not only black, but we would be a so-called black American today. You know what I mean? We know that Jew is nothing but one of the tribes in Israel, in the Israelites. You know what I mean? Jew is short for Judah. That simple statement right there, billions of people would never know that. You know what I mean? Even somebody that's probably a Jew themselves. Well, Salaki, that's a Jewish, a Zionist, false Zionists themselves. They wouldn't even know. You got that for me?
All
right, go ahead.
Timothy 4 and
So 2 Timothy 4 and 4. And then go to 5.
Now, 2 Timothy 4 and 4. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables.
It shall be turned into what?
Fables.
It shall turn into fables, man. Easter, and believing in bunny rabbits, and you go on and on with every holiday and everything them people do. You know what I mean? The Most High say go right, they go left, man. It said that they shall be turned unto fables. Man, we live in that right now. We've been living that for a minute. What's a fable, man? You know what I mean? That's a fairy tale, man. These folks, man might as well believe in mythology. You know what I mean? Which they do. That's all it is. Ain't nothing but fables. Keep on read verse 5.
Verse 5. But watch thou in all things, endure affliction, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry.
Make full proof of that ministry, man. You know what I mean? Full proof is proof of the Bible. You know what I mean? Not holding something just because my grandma been pushing this on me, and I know, you know what I mean, and it feel right, the song sound good, and we catch the spirit, we catch the Holy Ghost in the church. You know what I mean? Don't think that's the truth because you ain't proved nothing. You know what I mean? That's what we show our family members, we show people that we know all over the world is true. We got to prove every single thing to them. And they still may not come in. They still may have a hard time believing. But people in Christianity, people in other religions, they pastors ain't proved nothing, man. You got to make full proof of your ministry. And these folks ain't proved nothing to them nowadays. And we got to prove everything out of the Bible. We hitting 1,000 for 1,000. Them folks, they ain't pastor, or they imam, or they head false wizard high priest ain't showed them nothing. That's a proof. But they going on every word. You know what I mean? Because they've been given over into fables. So you got to watch that. We bringing our people away from that false dedication, that false brotherhood. Well, I was on Marcus Garvey. You know what I mean? It speaks for itself. The African Blood Brotherhood. African Blood Brotherhood, you messing up right there. That's why it failed. That's why we can look up and then, get the documentaries on YouTube about Marcus Garvey. But what is it led to? What's the fruit of it? It's nothing. It failed to nothing. Nothing. You know what I mean? I.S.U.P.K, it won't fall because, you know what I mean, we follow the law, statutes, commandments. You know what I mean? We can speak like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the way they said about Christ. Christ was a steer man. He speak as hard waters hit. You know what I mean? When we speak, it hit because the Most High is rolling with us. You know what I mean? We'll be able to go before kings and make them bow. You know what I mean? You not a Christian pastor don't have nothing that's gonna hit like that. Muslim imam ain't gonna have nothing to hit like that, man. You know what I mean? When you hold the truth, that's what the position you're gonna find yourself among the kings and the rulers and the prime ministers and presidents of this world, and we prophesying against their countries, man. You know what I mean? And we telling them what they need to do, because we know what the future gonna bring. We're gonna be the future leaders of America, future leaders of this world.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So we already prepared for that. We already in that arrogancy, so to say. You know what I mean? For real, we expect the heathen to bow down and kiss our boots. You know what I mean? Because we already know we're expecting to have slaves in the future. You know what I mean? Not 30 little virgins. I don't know where they get it in the Quran, but you know what I'm saying? We know the shift. We know that it's almost over for this empire, for these oppressors. You know what I mean? So the dedication is crazy for a lot of the people. That's why I want to get into a little bit shifting to Christianity also. We was on Islam a lot. I still got some more on that. But we talk about the brotherhood and dedication, the false brotherhood and dedication of a lot of these groups, and then and realize how our people, they really must think that the Most High, that God is really into this. And the Jehovah's Witness, that's one I want to start with. Jehovah's Witnesses, you know, they go door to door, whatnot. They all over. They really annoying, but when you really think about it, they put a lot of work in. You know what I mean? They work to go to, this is going to stubble. It's nothing. You know what I mean? It's nothing. It's nothing. If we can get a brother with that type of zeal to come in here and put it towards the right way, you know what I mean? It'll be, you know, it'll be a lovely thing. But they rather put in work for the devil with a smile on their face. You know what I'm saying? Try their best to look holy when there's nothing holy about them. I want to read this about Jehovah's Witnesses. It's talking about some of the little dedication they have. It says, all those baptized as Jehovah's Witnesses are required to proselyte, logging the number of hours spent in doorstep and city center evangelism in a monthly field service report. So the Jehovah's Witnesses, they have to report. And it says a standard commitment to the ministry work is about 840 hours a year. That's more than 16 hours a week that the Jehovah's Witnesses putting in. To even be considered a Jehovah's Witness, you have to put in 840 hours a year, 16 hours a week. That's a part-time job, man. You know what I mean? That's what Joseph Smith, who started the Jehovah's Witnesses. Somebody can look that up. But it was just a white man in the late 1800s. That white man got our people so doggone shook up. So got our head, spit the game on our people so much, and got them folks running around like a $40 hoe around this thing, man. You know what I mean? You ever get an old lost, you know what I mean? You know how them pimps get an old lost girl, ain't never had no daddy, got all type of demons on her, and got get her mind all discombobulated and get her to do it, whatever. To make a whore do whatever. That's how they got our people putting into the work. I mean, I mostly see black Jehovah's Witness people, but I know it's black and white and all over the world. Hispanics too. You know what I mean? They be trying to minister to you and try to pushing that agenda. They got the battery in their back, man. They got real dedication to it, but it comes to nothing, man. It come to nothing at all. You know what I mean? I think, well, how many times did Jehovah's Witnesses say that that the world's going to end? Over 300 times. Over 300 times they said the world was going to end. The Most High, you already know, a false prophecy, the Most High ain't with you. Go ahead.
All right, the one who started Jehovah's Witness, I did a class about this last year.
Uh-huh.
His name is Charles Taze Russell.
Okay.
The Jehovah's Witness are an outgrowth of the International Bible Studies Association, which was founded in 1872 in Pittsburgh by Charles Taze Russell. So
you follow religion and made it by Edomite named Charles in 1872 in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? Well, we always say if your religion got a start date, it got an ending date also. You know what I mean? That's nothing. Our people can't see that. We can say, oh, it was by a white man in 1872. What you doing following that? And them people will look at you like you crazy. You know what I mean? They don't want to know the truth. They under a spell, and they be Jehovah's Witness thumping and Bible thumping to their point. But when you show them the truth, they don't want to deal with it. So it only leads us to think that you just been given over. You ain't with the Most High. You ain't with the truth no way. If you heard the truth, you ain't even with it no way. Because we already done showed you. You know what I mean? You should do your due diligence to find out what's going on with you studying. You know what I mean? The prophets ain't never talked about nothing like that. So what are you doing studying that? What did our people get caught up on thinking that none of the prophets in the Bible ever said nothing about none of the stuff you into? He come in 1894, some slave master is coming with some new religion, and you thinking you just holding on to that, and you will fight, and you will die for that, and you'll put in 840 hours a year for that. You know what I mean? That's a damn shame, man. You know what I mean? But the Most High chose you. He didn't choose. We didn't choose him. Then we can rest in that fact. Cause you know what? The Most High, he ain't dealing with you no way. You know what I mean? You better be giving up. Hopefully, we're gonna preach this truth, but hopefully you have an ear for it one day. Let's go on to the next thing. You know what I mean? Because you know with the Jehovah's Witnesses, they door to door. They jump out in the van and work a whole neighborhood. You know what I mean? That type of dedication. But now we got the bicycle boys, the Mormons, aka the Mormons. You know what I mean? I think Mormons were started by Joseph Smith. Somebody look that up for me also, but I want to read this about the Mormons. Also, remember we talk about the dedication. Your brotherhood is in vanity, is vain, if it's not according to the truth. A typical day involves 2 hours of scriptorial study and 8 to 9 hours. That's per day. 8 to 9 hours of going door to door, teaching and contacting potential converts. 1 day a week is set aside for personal activities like laundry, letter writing, or sightseeing in the host country. Hey man, and the Mormons are pretty big. Don't never let your real or any of your family members kind of convince you about being in the truth, because these folks in the Mormon religion, they set aside 1 day just for personal activities. Other than that, they spending 8 hours a day and then another 2 on that in scriptorial things, and coming to nothing, man. What does it come to? Is no truth for the knowledge of the Bible. Strong delusion, man. Ain't nothing but a strong delusion, and they made their own Bible. I'm gonna let you bring out that in just a second. But also, they got something called the Mormon Bible, which is, and we already know the Bible says that anybody who take away any word or add any word to this book, your name shall be taken out of the book of the Lambs of Life. You're not making it into the heaven. The heathens can't make it in anyway. But we know that's how serious it is to taking away and adding to the word. You don't play with that. These niggas done made their own Bible, Mormon Bible. Crazy. So and within that Bible it says that the black skin is a curse. That's crazy. Black skin is a curse. You know what I mean? But you got our people. And I'm thinking about the Mormon religion. They picking a lot of truth. Man, you've been caught up in a strong delusion and you believe in fables like we brought out. Go ahead about a little bit more history on the Mormons.
Come. How was the Mormon religion started? The doctrines of Mormonism began with the farm boy Joseph Smith.
Oh, like Joseph Smith, yeah, Joseph Smith with the Mormonism. Go ahead.
In the 1820s in Western New York, during a period of religious excitement known as the Second Great Awakening.
Okay. Yeah, so Joseph Smith, another, and what year you say it started again?
In the 1820s.
1820s. A lot of this stuff was born, started in the 1800s, you know what I mean? No, they all by heathens. The truth was never given to them anyway. Go ahead.
It's like that around like the Renaissance period too. Yeah,
well, because towards the end, that's still slavery. You know,
mm-hmm.
Slavery in 1864. Mm-hmm. So it's right before slavery. Mormonism started. That's why they put in that book that our black skin is a curse. You know what I mean? But they got our people curious about it. Black and Hispanics, I have conversations with them. You know what I mean? These not quotes I'm just making up. You know, our people thinking that, maybe, I've been listening to the Mormonism, man, Mormons, and man, they've been teaching a lot of truth. Now, how so, Negro? How so? They got a Mormon book, and in the Mormon Bible they have whatever they say in the Mormon Bible will trump the actual Bible. Started in 1820, but our people do not know. Israel do not know. You know what I mean? To lead these religions. But we were saying they put in a lot of work also. Coming to nothing, coming to another falsehood. You know what I mean? They put in 8 hours a day and 1 day for their personal activities, like a Sabbath or something. You know what I mean? They doing all that. Leave them heathens alone. But a simple thing, but you know their nationality has a lot to do with your beliefs. Leave. You know what I mean? Start there. Tap in with the I.S.U.P.K. They give you practical knowledge. It's real easy. It's super easy. It's not rocket science or anything. You know what I mean? We could be able to show you that Christ don't got anything to do with Easter and laying eggs. I mean, that's very practical knowledge. That Christ don't got anything to do with Santa Claus and the Christmas tree. And it's more deeper than that. But these just practical things that you be like, okay, yeah, I see that now. That you should be able to see on yourself. You be like, why didn't I pick that up yourself? You need a prophet to show you. You know what I mean? And our people, they ready to dedicate themselves to heathens and devils. You know what I mean? It don't make any sense. Pick me up at Troop, you there? Pick me up at 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Second. Yeah, because our people, they just ready to be deceived. But that's why we have patience. This is the patience of the saints. Patience in the faith of the saints, man. You know what I mean? It took us some time to get us in cattle slavery and form our mind like this, man. So we got patience with our people. We thank all praise to the Most High for bringing us into this truth where we can show our people, and we don't gotta be, you know what I mean? Because we know we was just like them, so we can see ourselves in them to know, and that's why we have the patience of them. And that's why we sign up for this job, because it's gonna be done with or without us, if you lead the truth or not. You know what I mean? It's a hard job. Yeah, it's a hard. Our people it's different, hard than people, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna pop. He got his prophets to show, you know what I mean, Israel where they going off. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. You can get into it right now. You get into it right now, because if you don't, you know what I mean, your life, I mean, hey, your life and your soul, we can't vouch for that at all. You know what I mean? It can be given over quick. Go ahead with that scripture. Say that again.
Let no man deceive you by any means.
By any means. That mean how you by any means. I mean that would do it. Christian do it. Just go over your head. By any means. That means you have to know your stuff. You got to know the Hebrew. You got to know what the Bible is really saying. You just got to know the precepts of the Bible to get the understanding. Through that precepts, you're gonna get understanding. That's why there can't nobody play with you with this Bible. You know what I mean? Let no man deceive you by any means. I mean, do you know how far in the measurement of deception in the Christian church has pushed on our people, and the fruit of that? Let no man deceive you by any means. That's all we know is deceit. Go ahead.
For that day shall not come except there be a falling away first. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
Right, that man of sin be revealed, man. You know what I mean? You think about the devil, but the Caucasian man, the eye oppressor, is the devil, man.
Word.
It's the devil. That's the devil, man. You know what I mean? That's what's gonna be revealed. That's what the great mystery is. You know what I mean? And that falling away first. Our people are falling away from the truth. Our people are falling away from, you know what I mean, sound doctrine that they should be following. You know what I mean? You think that somebody could just learn the truth and just simply replace what you was doing. Simply replace what you're doing replace the holidays with the holy days. Replace, you know what I mean, everything what you were doing. It's hard for them to do, because, you know what I mean, it's been a following away. It's been a following away. Pick me up at Acts 5:38. You know what I mean? These men have councils. You know what I mean? Nation of Islam, I mean, Christianity. You know what I mean? They have many councils, many glorious churches and worship buildings or whatnot. You know what I mean? It took a lot of dedication to build these buildings, to build these faculties, to build the memberships that they have. You know what I mean? A false preacher that's coming into this Sunday, he still got to think about what he's going to talk about. He still got to think about putting together a sermon for the people. He still got to think about. He still got to dedicate his time to that. But you know, he's dedicating it to nothing. That the Most High is not in that, man. You got that for me?
Acts 5:38.
Uh-huh.
For if this counsel or this work be of man,
Be of who?
not come to naught.
Hold on, it say be of what?
For if this counsel or this work be of man,
Be Salaki, this is saying this work or this counsel be of men. You know what I mean? That key word, be of men, man. You know what I mean? That Christianity, that's of men. Something that started in 1820, 1870s. Whatever. If it's not according to this word, they made another Book of Mormons, the Book of Jehovah's Witnesses. You know what I mean? Well, hold on, what's that Book of Jehovah's Witnesses called? What it's called? It's called something. They made another Bible too. You know what I mean? If it ain't, you know what I mean? Those are work of men. Yeah, I know it was on the tip of my tongue too.
Damn, come on.
Go ahead.
I believe it's called Watchtower.
Yeah, the Watchtower.
Yeah.
That damn Watchtower. You know what I mean? That darn Watchtower, man. You know what I mean? If those are work of men, man. Those are work of men. If it ain't come through that council, go ahead.
What you did brought out so heavy, you know what I'm saying? I just had a conversation with a Jehovah's Witness, and this person had the audacity to tell me that she done met some people that are part of the 144,000, and she told me that they are white people.
No, if you read the Watchtower, if you read the Watchtower, it's all about they know about the 144,000, not according to the right way, but they automatically say, okay, you're Jehovah's Witness, you get into the 144,000 or whatnot. You know what I mean? They use that terminology a lot, but the thing is that what's his name, Charles? Edomite Charles started in the 1870s in Pittsburgh, and Moses ain't saying nothing about that. Isaiah ain't saying nothing about that. Jeremiah ain't said nothing about that. Ezekiel ain't said nothing about that. Right. Zechariah ain't said nothing about that. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John ain't said nothing about that. Yahanna damn show ain't said nothing about that.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So your counsel is the work of men. And nigga, we ain't studying. We ain't studying, man. That's why we talk how we talk. That's why we do what we do. You know what I mean? Keep on going on that scripture. Started for this council.
For this counsel and this work be of man, it will come to naught.
It will come to what?
Come to naught.
It comes to naught. Everybody know naught. That's nothing. It will come to nothing, Negro. You know what I mean? It come to nothing. What are we doing here? It's so easy for us. You know what I mean? That's why we're using this practical knowledge to show them. You know what I mean? We got to show them how to properly do the practical things of life. You know how they say that the white man was he didn't even know how to bathe. The so-called white man, he didn't even know how to bathe or whatever. The black man had to teach him how to bathe and properly use soap and everything. You know what I mean? It's just like our people. We got to show them how to properly come to the Most High. We got to show them how to properly come to the Creator, man. You know what I mean? That's how we got to do it. This is the last scripture, Jeremiah 14:14 through 15. Because, we got anything we know about our people and in the Christianity and Islam, they got a lot of zeal. And they gonna claim they see some prophecies. They gonna claim they the Most High taught them. Well, the Lord told me. I know what that Bible say. I know what all the Bible say and everything lined up what y'all said. But the Lord told me something ain't right about that school. You know what I mean? That's all they need to hear. You know what I mean? The Lord told them this. The Lord revealed this to them. Our people are all over the place with this type of stuff. You know what I mean? And they dedicating their lives to all type of things. You got that for me? But this scripture right here, we're gonna go into it a little bit.
Jeremiah 14:14. Then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name.
Hold on. So pause right there and say they're prophets because we have set up Creflo Dollar, Eddie Long, Even the heathens, Joel Osteen, Farrakhan, even the dead, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, we set them up as prophets on this earth. So they are, they are somewhat a prophet. They are prophets, but they are false prophets on this earth. So when you see the word prophet, you see prophet, that don't mean they just with the Most High. Go ahead and start it over again.
Okay. Jeremiah 14:14. Then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not.
Yeah, sent what?
Have I commanded?
So like he sent them what?
He said, I sent them not.
He ain't sent now one of them, man. He ain't sent them now. So get this through your head, Christian. Through your head, Muslim, witchcraft, whatever you into. They prophets, and they prophesy in the Most High name, but the Most High said he has sent them not. Keep on going.
Okay. I sent them not. Neither have I commanded them. Neither spake unto them.
Most High said, he said what? That he didn't even spoke to him? He didn't even whisper to him? He didn't even show him a sign? These niggas lying. Go ahead.
They prophesied unto you a false vision and divination, and a thing of God, and the deceit of their heart.
Then we go with that now again, that nothing, that thing of nothing. And the deceit of their heart, man. We know the deceit that comes through. It's gonna come down to money. Come down to greed. Come down to getting your woman, getting all the women, or they gay, getting all the men or whatever, turning everybody out. You know what I mean? Or the women turning all the women out, or women taking control of a man in the household. With women preachers or whatnot. You know what I mean? They all came in the Lord's name, so they say. They all prophesied. The Lord all done showed them something. Look at this big church with all these members. Of course, you don't think the Most High ain't dealing with me, nigga? You know what I mean? We got 5,000 members in the mega church. Right here in the middle of the ghetto, looking like New Heaven, New Jerusalem. You think the Lord ain't dealing with me? That's what they say. Keep on going to the last verse 15.
Verse 15. Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that prophesied in my name, and I sent them not. Yet they say, sword and famine shall not be in this land. By sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed.
That's right. You know what I mean? Think about before the coronavirus, COVID-19 hit. You know what I mean? How many doggone pastors, if you pass the channel and you see, hey, it's gonna be some blessings coming to you in the next. It's gonna be some blessings coming into the earth. You know what I mean? It's gonna be no famine coming. It's gonna be some great things happening on the earth. Cause I know, I'm telling you. You know what I mean? We do our research. We've seen it. We seen them false prophets saying how it's gonna be so many great things coming on the earth. It's gonna be your year. He was gonna do it this year. The prophesied, prosperity preachers, keeping up with the same agenda, and the COVID-19 hit, and you know what I mean. It was a famine, it was a plague, it was mayhem on the earth. You know what I mean. And them people, those same people, our loved ones, our mothers, our fathers, our family members, our friends, they hear all that. And they still can't wait till things just go back to normal, where they can all go back to church. You know what I mean? And that's what the dedication you gotta watch. You know what I mean? Don't waste your life on falsehood. Don't give your lie. Don't waste your life into a lie. Don't push your life into a false brotherhood, man. You know what I mean? Y'all young boys out here joining gangs and everything. Don't waste your life on that. You already know what's gonna happen in the end. Ain't no love. They ain't gonna let you go to jail. They ain't gonna look out for you. They die. Ain't nobody gonna look out for your kid. Ain't nobody gonna look out for your mama. Look out for your family. Ain't nobody gonna keep your name going. They gonna just try to take your spot, man. You know what I mean? So you might, you know what I'm saying? You got to join. You got to be with the Most High on this, because He ain't gonna be with you. He gonna give you over, unless you get killed, unless you go to jail. You know what I mean? those of Christianity and Islam and everything here, let your kids get taken over, turned all the way out by the high imam, turned all the way out by the high priest, the high pastor in your area or whatnot. You know what I mean? Because you ain't come through the right. You ain't come through the right way. You know what I mean? Ain't only way to get this is through the truth. You know what I mean? I'm also Barak y'all. I'm gonna pass this over to priest and prophet in the I.S.U.P.K.
This I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. Brother I.S.U.P.K. started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister come to the school, they are limits for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to set themselves over the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment, the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. My Ishra, that means 10 in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest form, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you like to give. Okay, we into the feast of first fruits. You also can find that in the book of, let me see, Slakia, Leviticus chapter 23. Slakia. You can find this in the book of Leviticus chapter 23, verse 10 to 22. Remind Alkin all walking to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If any brother wants to be a troop in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pant, headband, or scarf. And make sure you Google this address every time you're headed to the school. To type in Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and the address will be 3353 Glenwood Road, Decatur, Georgia. Just type in Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and the address again going to be 3353 Glenwood Road, Decatur, Georgia. With that, give welcome salute to the teacher, Men Israel, Amaya Sabat, Amaya, Barak, Yahweh Hashem El Shabbat,
Yahweh Hashem El Shabbat.
Yahweh Matah, hands down, class dismissed.